Hello everyone, welcome back to this channel to all my excellencies. If you're new, welcome. Don't forget to subscribe and ding that notification bell so you don't miss it. Here's the channel that will give everything Excel so that you can excel in Excel. So today we're looking at formatting cells. I'll look at formatting cells in Excel. Now the Home tab contains standard features allowing you to change the appearance of the data in the worksheet. Now here is a quick explanation for most of them. Like we said, we're looking at formatting cells, and actually the Home tab actually contains most of the features that we use to format. So we want to run through a few of them at a glance so we can learn how to work in Excel, how to format cells. Excel. Now, looking at the ribbon, we have our ribbon here, like we always say, and in the ribbon we have several tabs. Okay, all the tabs. We have our Home tab, Sort tab, BL tab, and so on. The list goes, and then within each tab we have our groups. So we've been further subdivided into groups. Now we can easily locate and reference our commands. So we have, for example, import group here, font group, alignment group, number group, and so on. Let's start with the font group now to see how to format cells. Now, for those that are conversant with MS Word or the Microsoft Office environment, you'll be familiar with most of the commands and functions in the font group here. So let's just take a look at some of the commands and see how we can actually work. Now actually something I actually need to show us quickly. Now looking just close to each group, most groups, you can see this small dot here. That's a dialog box launcher. Okay. It's a dialog box launcher. See? Those that have those dialog box launchers, that shows us that there are still some commands that can actually fit within the ribbon. So we need to click on that dialog box launcher that we can actually have access to all the full array of commands that we can actually work with. For example, our fonts. So clicking that dialog box launcher, like I said, opens the command cell dialog box. Then for fonts, it opens the font tab, format cells dialog box. So we can have an option to the full array of commands. Like for example, on the ribbon, you cannot see my strike through, my superscript or subscript. Okay, so I have access to them here, and a host of other commands that we can actually use to work with our fonts while working in Excel. Okay, so that is that there. Just start to bring it up so that going forward we're going to be learning into this as we move ahead. So you can see the alignment group also have a dialog box launcher. In my number group I have a dialog box launcher. Well, it's none here. The styles group doesn't have some groups will be encountering, so you see them with dialog box launchers. So that is that. Now let's continue. Now let's see, for example, I type this word Excel. Yeah. So like we said, for us to format in Excel, I have to custom edit mode. Like I see the cursor blinking here, I have to make sure I custom edit mode before I can actually format in Excel. So to format, I cancel the edit mode. I can then move out of the cell and then come back. Or while I am in that cell, click on Control enter. Okay, Control enter cancels the edit mode, but we still need that cell. That if you want to format, you can format content of that cell. So yeah, I can come to my font. So let's say I want to change the font, for example. Okay, change the font. So let's say I choose this font. Yeah. And also decide to change the font size. Okay. Okay, this font. Now you also know well from here of that font attributes, bold, italics, underline. Okay. This borders, yeah, I'm gonna treat it on its own as a topic on its own. So let's just skip this. Come to still come back to it, treating that as a topic on its own later. So now I have my fill color. Okay, so fill color adds color to the cell. So I click on the drop down arrow, for example, then I say I want it to be yellow, so that is fill color. And then just besides we have font color, so that's what actually gives the font's color. Okay, so say I want it to be red, so we have high contrast. Let's can actually see what's happening. So that is that. After I click on the dialog box launcher, I have access to other commands, like we said. I strike through, okay, superscript, subscript, and others. Okay, see our font, see both our bold, regular, bold, italic, item, okay, and so on. I have my font size here, okay, color, put my color, okay, and other commands. So that is that for the font group. I'm moving on, switch over to alignment group. So the alignment group, align the entry and the cell of selection. Choices are left, center, and right. By default, an entry is aligned at the bottom of a cell. So if you change the height of a row, you want to change the vertical alignment of the cells. Choose top, middle, and bottom. So that is it now. Looking at it, I come here now, for example. Now in my alignment group, I have all these options. Top, align, I have middle align, I have bottom align, coming down, I have align left, center, and then align right. I also have wrap text. We're going to look at that. I have merge and center. Then we have our indents, decrease indent, increase indent. We're going to see just a simple example to see how we can actually work with that. Then I also have my orientation. So let's see, for example, now I type Sam within this cell, and then let's also type, for example, 1000 here. Now remember when we're choosing data types, we said texts by default align to the left within their cells. Numbers by default align to the right within their cells. So for whatever reason, for change that default alignment, this is where I get it done in the alignment group. So say, for example, I want to change the alignment of this number. I want to make it, change it to the left. I want it to be in the center, or I want it to be out on the right. Okay, so you can see that happen in real time. Okay, like so. I come to the text also, same thing. Decide to say, okay, I want it to be on the left, or it to be at the center, or on the right. Now, coming up here, I have my top, middle align, and bottom. Okay, now you see clicking on it, you don't actually notice anything happening. Okay, this is because the height of that row, that cell, is not that much. So if I increase the row height, then we can see it taking effect. Okay, so then I decide, okay, I want it to be at the bottom, or in the middle, or at the top. Okay, now with this alignment here, can actually have up to 9 different possibilities. Okay, so for example, let's start all the way and try to say, okay, I want top align, but I want it on the left. Okay, I want top align, but I want it in the middle, at the center. I want top align, but I want it on the right. Okay, you can also decide to say I want middle align, but I want it on the right. Okay, or I want it at the center, in the middle, then on the left. Okay, you can also decide to say, okay, I want it here, bottom, okay, either on the left, at the center, or on the right. So you can see 9 different possibilities that I have here now. Now, that is that. So, I also have this option, wrap text. Wrap text. So say you want, say for example, now I have type this is Excel. Okay. Now let's take for example, I type this of this cell. Now you see it spills out because it's more than the width of that cell. Okay. Now, if I want to maintain the width, I want to force the content of that cell to be in that cell. Now, come here and click on wrap text. So you see what happens. It maintains the width, but it actually automatically increases the height of that. So that what I have within that cell contain and then can be legible. So that is that for wrap text. So sometimes you might be constrained for space, you don't want to mess with the width of the cell or the column. Okay, so that's how we can do that. So we can just click on wrap text, then it increases, automatically increases the height of that row or that cell, so that that text contained within that cell. Okay, we also have margin center. We'll come back to that in a minute. Now I also have this possibility where I can actually decide to change the orientation of the content of the cell. Okay, that is text or number or whatever. Okay, so clicking this, you try to say, okay, I want it to be angle and counterclockwise. So you can see what happens in real time. Angle clockwise here. Vertical text. Okay, so let me just increase the height of that row so that we see where 1000 is hiding. Yeah, so vertical text. Okay, or rotate text up or rotate text down. Okay, format cell alignment. Now brings up my dialog box launcher. So as if I click on the alignment dialog box launcher. Okay, so you can now have access to more options. Okay, so I can see those options and so much more. See my orientation. Okay. Text alignment. Okay. General, left, center, view, justify, center across, selection, distributed. Okay. Vertical. Okay. You can decide to have it top, center, bottom, justified, distributed. Okay. Wrap text, shrink, fit. Okay. Then merge cells, text direction, centered, left to right, right to left. Okay. So I have more options there. So I just play around with it. Okay, my orientation. Yeah. Okay. So I can actually control what angle precisely. Yeah. The orientation, which I didn't have option to do that here. They were just preset. Okay. So here I can actually control what angle I want precisely here. So that is that. Click on that format cell alignment. Yes. So that is that for the alignment group. Okay. Before we finish, sorry, we also have these options: increase indent and decrease indent. Now, for those of us that converse and indentation from MS Word, you can also have indentation also in Excel. So let's say, for example, something like this. Let's just get it. Let's just take, for example, a list. This say under. Okay, as a brand, then we just list a few of their models. Okay, say Accord. Say Civic. And then CRV. Okay, I say I come to Toyota. Okay, see Camry, see Corolla, and then RAV4. Okay, RAV4. Now let's see how we put distinction so that anybody looking at it actually know that okay, this is a brand, this is a brand. These are just models. So I can just decide to say, okay, let me make this bold. Make this bold. Okay. Then I can decide to do it together in a bunch or separately. Okay. I can decide to increase the indent of the models. Okay. Like so. Okay. So increase. Decrease. Okay, so this decrease indent, then moves it to the left, increase, moves it to the right. Okay. So I can set to have something like this. Like I said, I could decide to have done it individually, but you can also select them together and then move them all at once. Okay. Come down to read our models, like so, and increase indent. Okay, so these are some possibilities we can actually have. Okay, so like so, increase indent, decrease indent. So I think looking at this now, it's more clear. It's clearer. Looking at this gives a clear distinction. Looking at this, somebody can give this is a brand. These are models, these are brand, these are models. Might scenario and use it. So just a simple example, that is working with the increase indent and decrease indent. Yeah, that is the alignment group. Okay, now we look at one last thing, merge and center. Okay, merge. So say I want to example. Let's just go to a new sheet. Okay. Let's say, for example, I want to have a table. I want to give that table a title. Okay, let's just say, for example, I have this as a table. Okay, so let's say I want to name it regional sales. Okay, regional sales. Now, how it be nice if I give this table a title. So, I'll just go up here, for example, select the cells there, and then we have option to merge. Okay, merge all these cells into one. So I have different options. I have merge at center, merge across, merge cells, and then on merge cells. Let's look at it. I want to understand what situation we can use each. Now let's say I actually type something in this cell already. Let's say we need it regional sales. Sorry, regional sales. Okay, I now select those cells. I want to merge. So to merge, let's make a selection. I'll select at least 2 or more cells. Okay, now click on regional sales. Okay, so merge and center. Okay, so we can see merge and center. To merges those cells and places the text in the middle at the center of that new cell that we merged. Okay, so you can decide to now see and increase size. Let's look. All right, so regional sales. So that's what I want. That is that. Next one here now we have is merge across. Merge across. So let's say I want several rows merged. Okay, I want to merge across several rows. We can actually have that done. So can do something like so. Example, come down. Okay, and let's say I want to clear something, and then I want all these rows individually to be merged. Okay, click on merge across. Okay, so you see now all these individual rows have merged like so. Okay, that is that. Then the next one is merge cells. It is just merge cells, but it doesn't place the text in the middle. Just leaves it just on the right for text, or the left. I mean on the left for text, or the right for numbers. It doesn't alter the alignment of that text, of the text in that newly merged cell now. Okay, so that's what that does. Then if I want to undo everything I've done, click on merge cells. See now I had merged the cells across. Click on merge all those cells. Okay, now so we want to look at number group. Okay, look at the number group. So this allows us to insert some number formats to our cells. Okay, so remember when we were introducing Excel, we said while working with numbers. Do not insert, say for example, the currency symbol manually. Not type in those thousand separators manually, because doing so will make Excel not to recognize the content of that cell to be, either a text, a number, sorry. So once there's an alphanumeric entry in that cell, Excel does not recognize it to be a number. For example, I have 5,000. I inserted that 1,000 separator manually here. Excel does not recognize the content in this cell to be a number anymore. Once there's an alphanumeric entry, automatically Excel recognizes it to be text. So say I want to insert those 1,000 separators now. Come here now, this way I can actually come and insert it. Okay, so I click on the comma style. The comma style, see now, it gives me that 1,000 separators and it gives me 2 decimal points. Okay, 0. Okay, it adds 1,000 separators, then inserts 2 decimal places. Okay, now say I want to insert currency symbol. So I want to insert currency symbol, for example, come to this. Okay, you can see dollar here. So whatever currency you actually want to work with, almost all the currencies are reflected here. So you can see my dollar, my pound sterling, my euros, my Chinese yuan, another. If I want to insert other currencies, I click on that. Okay, so I click more accounting formats. Come here. Now opens the format cells number tab for me. Okay, or I can also decide to come here. Okay, that box there. Go to more number formats. Okay, so even here I can see most of the number formats. Okay, I have general, number, currency, accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction. Okay, go down, see more. Now clicking more number formats takes me to the number dialog box in the format cells. Okay, under format cells dialog box, okay, the numbers tab. I can see all my number formats here. Okay, that's not how we can actually get there. I can also decide to click on, remember we're talking about our dialog box launcher. Okay, so clicking on my dialog box launcher takes me there also. Okay, so I also decide to go there. So say I want to insert currency symbol in this cell, or a selection of cells for me, the selection or just a single cell. Okay, so now I can come down to currency. Okay, now from this list, almost all the currencies are actually reflected here. So I can select whichever one applies to my country or whichever one applies to my situation, as the case may be. I select, prefer and use the dollar. Okay, dollar is there. Okay, now you can see decimal places. Okay, so for whatever reason, by default, doing that just actually inserts 2 decimal places, just like we saw when we're using the 1,000 separators. Okay, so it also applies that to my currency format. Okay, so for whatever reason, I'll either increase or reduce decimal places. This is 2, you can see 2 decimal places. Okay, if I want to increase or reduce it for whatever reason, I can actually do it here. Okay, see 3. Okay, if I want it to be 3, whatever, you can see quick description, quick tip for what will happen. I'll make it 4 places. See, after the decimal point, 4 digits. Okay, 3, 2. So we can see short description here. Just 1. Okay, or none, 0. Okay, decimal place. So that just gives us a short description. So, okay, you can see a short description of how to apply. Now, I want to insert my dollar currency symbol like so. Okay, so that is that. That's how we go about that. Now there are other currency formats like I mentioned earlier on. So you can also decide to increase or reduce the decimal places here. You can see this: increase decimal, decrease decimal. So if I want to increase or reduce it, I can actually do it here. Okay. Other currency formats also have it here. So whichever one applies to your situation, you can actually do it here. Okay. You can come to the format cells numbers tab. Okay. Then all currency, number formats are available for us here. So we can actually select whichever one applies to our solution. And so that is just a brief glance on formatting cells. Okay, so see you in the next class, see you in the next lesson. Don't forget to engage me in the comment section, click like, share this video, help us grow, and subscribe. Don't forget to strive for excellence in all areas. Thank you very much. See you next time.